Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha. This is Geebz here, your old composer here at the Decomposer Lounge. And I'm pulling back and dissecting the layers. No, wait, I'm pulling back the layers and dissecting your favorite tracks. That's my thing. And I am doing a band I've never heard of called Animate. However, doing a little homework. I want to reference, this is off of Wikipedia, so I don't, it's the internet. Everything on the internet is true, right? They're from Texas. The band formed in 2011. Texas. I've been to Texas a few times actually, but in transition. I did go to South Padre Island once. Very, very cool. There's actually some surf there too. Anyhow, I digress. So it looks like they're on tour right now from what I understand. They've had a few band member changes go through, and it's metalcore, progressive metal, gent and ambient. Ooh, okay, well I'm in for something. What I do know, guys, hang on. This is a special request, obviously, from Patreon. And so this is a long song. And so buckle up. My stops will be a little bit more shorter, but more thoughtful, I think, if I can manage to do that. I don't know what I'm in for, but by the sounds of the genres, looks like I'm in for some fun because you guys know that is my jam. Let me get to that page. All right, there we go. So anyhow, thank you so much for your support. I got me a nice big fat cup of coffee because this thing is 10 minutes long. So yeah, good thing I got the weekend coming up. So, let's do this. Animate. The name of the song is The Sun Sleeps As If It Never Was. So it looks like it's two songs here merged into one here. All right, let's do this. All right. Wow, looks like what they did. Remember I had listed off the genres earlier? Genres. It looks like they shoveled that whole thing right into this song. Everything is in here so well placed. The ambience, the opening with the little kind of muted sounded or very dull sounding little chord. It started off with that nice little structure there to kind of set the place. And to me, that's like a start like that is like clearing the emotional, metaphysical, sonic palette. That's like saying, okay, ready? It's almost like when the lights dim, at a theater or something like that, because you're getting ready for something. And then they hit really hard, automatically coming in, and also the power of the vocals comes screeching in, literally within probably a measure of them cranking it up to 11. The voice, I'm not going to say anything about that for the rest of this reaction, or at least this track. Incredible. I don't understand what he's saying. That's okay. This is not my something I have to go back and listen to the lyrics or look at the lyrics and stuff. But it's just incredible that these musicians, because that's what you are. It's an instrument. It's a musician. It just so happens that the human is the instrument, can perform like that and then do a tour and be that all the way through without just destroying your voice. It's just an amazing trick. Or talent, sorry. Don't smoke me. That's a trick. The sultry background vocals that are happening and what I think is the hook of the song, at least it feels like it because it repeated itself nice and cleanly, it's sunk way back in the mix. And that's another thing. The way this is engineered and stuff like that, the ambience is, even though the guys are just killing it with some of those riff change-ups are fantastic, the ambience is built around, washy, punchy chords, but very tricky reverb placement by the engineer. Even because when the riff is going, it's not hard, cold stop riff, kind of stuff that's happening there. There's still a little bit of a wash in it to keep it deep and keep it very ethereal and very ambient. So, and then I can also still hear in the background these light chords that are still being kept in a very spacious way by the keyboard arrangements and stuff. So, ambient, ethereal, metalcore and everything, man, they just went shh. Okay, let's keep going. Good place to stop. The ambience that they set up with the other arrangements are back. Did you see me just doing this? Is if you listen really close to that section when you go back to it, you'll hear this arpeggiation that's happening in the back. That is so badass. I mean, because it's those decisions in production that gives it the ambience, while the guitars are just crushing, chugging, riffing the out of this track. Where I'm glassing myself into and just kind of getting really kind of like I'm catalyzing my experience right now is with the ambience approach that they're doing in the background. There are some washed out chords that I can hear. It sounds like guitars are playing like in a layer to add to that ambience, but apparently I don't know if there's a keyboard player that's part of this band or if that's just an arrangement decision that they made to do overdubs. But I would assume that it's a very important part of the band, so keyboard player. I love how they brought us down in that little spot where it was like all it was ambience. There's just something about ambience when it's done right, an ethereal composition that's just kind of this like a, if it's placed in the right part of a song and stuff, that's what I love about it, because everything about music for me is always about dynamics, because as a composer for film, TV, all that sort of crap, didn't mean to say it that way. Yes, I'm so lucky to be working as a composer. Thank you, directors. I'm just saying, it's based on experience, it's based on dynamics and delivering a theater of the mind with the music, and that's what these guys are doing here, and I really dig that. Oh, I'm not going to get another job now because of that. Here we go. once again, oh, stopped in a smudgy part of the video. I am watching the video, no offense to the videographer and the director and stuff like that, you know, and it does translate very well. I'm just doing my thing here in my head. That minute or so of nothing but ambiance is exactly what I'm talking about, you know, in a journey like this. If you're down for these long listens and stuff like that, it really does sell you into the abyss. You kind of punch through this membrane of reality. I don't know why I'm getting all weird with my words here, but and it does that to you. It just kind of lifts you and pushes you forward. And then it gets into this point where, like, so it's got to be the same vocalist. Not usually. I've found out that sometimes there are different band members that have different, you know, performance abilities. Like the drummer might be the clean voice, and the front guy is the. But if this is the same vocalist, what a great transition in his instrument right here. I'm not a vocal coach, so I don't. But the softer air passing through the vocal cords and still being able to maintain that tone quality. That's mental, man. That is just so cool. I'll bet you vocal coaches probably have listened to this and has something to say about that. Also, you saw me doing this. What I loved about this, and I have not talked about the drums much, so here we go really quick. I loved how the engineering went ahead and just kind of scooped, you know, and brought the drums into a very lo-fi kind of a sound and growing out of it. And, you know, in today's technology, the last 15 years of engineering, there's a lot of trickery that goes on that really works well. If it's done too much, it sucks. But, you know, this seems to be so thought out of the production of the song. And so that experience also is very important to me as a listener to keeping me interested in the journey. Are these very unique things, and the drummer has been killing it since the very first measure that he came in. Great engineering, really super, not overly compressed, really clean engineering through and through. The engineer, remember what I always say about the engineer becomes part of the band during the recording process. Fight me on that, okay? I mean, in most cases, if that guy is not there putting in all the hard work and that nature, you know, oh, we'll just find another one. No, it's always going to be another one. You need that guy there or that gal there. You know what I'm saying? And they just do become part of the band. They become part of the complete experience of producing the artwork. You know what I'm saying? They're like the canvas, and then the musicians are the painters, kind of a thing. The engineering on this is just absolutely unreal. I love it. I love the tones, you know, and I'm listening to it through these are studio cans, but they're not the world's greatest, but so I do get to really hear the tones and the richness of it. But all right, I talk way too much. This video is going to be way too long. Let's just listen to it all the way through. Yeah, I love that infinite reverse effect that they got going on there. You know, a couple things I want to say before I dial down or dial out. I got to go back really quick to the engineering aspect of it. They have got the drums, whoever the engineer was, has got the drums so well positioned and so, you know, and stuff like this when there's so many arrangements going on around in the background, especially arrangements that are very rhythmically oriented, unless, I mean, the thing is that the marriage between the drums, bass, and the guitar and a lot of the riffs in this kind of music, I believe is extremely important. You know, it's always not always, it's usually accented by, you know, in unison with percussion, the drums, you know. But when they step out of that and the drums are holding something real square and powerful while the guitar might be doing some chugging and stuff like that, as well as a song like this, it has so much ambient things happening. I noticed that when I said earlier there was an arpeggiation, I thought maybe it was a keyboard, but I'm watching the video and yes, obviously you can do your arpeggiation on your guitar, just have it affected, pull it back and put it in a very unique position in the mix and stuff like that. There's also that other section where I started hearing what I thought was like, is that like, I forget what that setup is, you know, with guitars, you know, you can have this mean gnarly metal guitar, but then you hit something and you have another output and it's a very clean sound. And it's got that strumming, a very like, ring, 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 and I'm going, what the? And then I looked at the video, I went, okay, that's what it was, it's another layer, you know. Incredible focus on arrangements and layers on this, you know. Definitively as a song or a series of songs or something, it didn't matter that I didn't have a recalling of a hook and stuff, because each one of these movements, I would call it, in a song this long, had its own very unique hook within it. To me, though, this whole journey, if I was to say, you know, one thing about it, it's the fact that at moments when I stopped reacting and listening for parts and I just sunk into the song, it just removed me from here. Isn't that what music does for us, right? I don't care what you listen to. It could be the most gnarliest screamo metal, or it could be, again, Zanfir, you know, or Yanni or something, you know. And whatever we listen to, it pulls us away from, you know, whatever, you know. Yeah, well, depending if you're listening to some Barry White, though, you know, it could be bringing you to, no, sorry. I'm sorry, I'm just going off because the coffee just kicked in. Anyhow, great listen. Thank you so much for hanging out. This was a long-ass video. If you're still here, what do we type in? I'm still here. Tell me your thoughts of this listen, invent, animate. I'm going to have a link for this down below so you can check it out yourself. You guys take care. Have a killer day. Aloha. All right.